Hi Booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I just wanted to say a few things before I get into the book I want to talk to you about, or rather wish I had better things to say about. I want to thank everyone who participated in Shaktember. It was a wonderful event this year. It was so great to hear your thoughts about some of Shakespeare's plays, your experiences of seeing Shakespeare performed live, and just, yeah, I just felt like it was really fantastic. Those of you who participated and those of you who did not, you don't need to feel guilty. It's okay. Like, I've gotten some funny Voxer messages and those sorts of things about not participating in Shaktember. It's not, there is no required event participation. It's a good month in that aspect. Health-wise, we struggled a little bit in September, so I'm definitely glad that October is here. I don't know about you, I have had this craving to buy books lately. Like, it's like kind of a whole bunch of overpriced books on eBay, and so I don't know, I'm hoping to have a haul video for you soon. One of you sent me a package this week, and so thank you so much for sending that. So I think I'm gonna make a separate video with some haul books here before long. I did start reading my book for Victober. I am reading Uncle Silas by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I'm reading this with Joe Smith and Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. And we are reading this in honor of Jennifer Brooks, who, man, made some tremendous Victober content, and just tremendous content overall, not just during October, obviously, when we're celebrating Victorian literature, but apparently she really liked Uncle Silas, and so we are reading this in honor of her. She died earlier this year, and so this is our We Love Jenny read, if you will. I will link to the hosts of Victober if in case somehow you have missed out on who they are. It's Katie from Books and Things, Kate Howe, Marissa from Blatantly Bookish, and Roz from Scally Dandelion About the Books. And so, yes, so far this is very scary, very creepy. I'm gonna have to find something lighter on my little library card over here to read while reading this, but yeah, so far so good. So that's exciting. All right. So I did finish a book last weekend. I finished Gaston Leroux's Leroux. I even lived in France for a tiny bit, and I still can't say these things, so I apologize to all of the people who are watching in French. This is The Mystery of the Yellow Room, and I picked this up from my mom. She's most well known for writing Phantom of the Opera, which the over-the-top musical is based on. And so I was curious about this. Also, I was curious about this because it is, and let me make sure that I have the trademark right, the phrase, locked room mysteries. So someone is killed, or in this case, injured in a room that's completely sealed off, shut off. The door is locked, there's iron bars on the window, all that kind of thing. How does something happen to her in that room that it seems like no one should be able to get into and no one should be able to get out of? Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit more about the author because I wanted to do some homework. So he lived from 1868 to 1927. He was a French journalist and, again, the author of detective fiction. His detective in this book is also in, I think, 8 or 9 other stories. And I'm going to get to his name here shortly. But I was pretty shocked. Because I think after Phantom of the Opera, this is the book that he's most well known for. And Wikipedia, at least, is comparing his contribution to detective fiction on par with Arthur Conan Doyle and Edgar Allan Poe. I just don't think that this is anywhere near as good as Arthur Conan Doyle and Edgar Allan Poe, especially Edgar Allan Poe. But yeah, so that's kind of who he's compared to for this series. And one of the things I got tripped up in, so the detective, and he's not even a detective in this book. He's 18 years old. We'll get to that in just a second. But so his name is Joseph, and then I'm gonna put his last name down below. And I'm basing this off the internet, so I apologize. Rouletabille, which means in French, roll your marble, but I understand it's French slang for globetrotter. So anyway, whatever. His name did trip me up a little bit because it's so long, and I was trying to think of how it would sound in French every time I read it, but you know, and then we've got the hideous cover, and I've already talked to you guys about these super tiny print in this book, and those are superficial things. Okay, that is not why I gave this book 1 star. Okay, I gave this book 1 star, which is the only book this year that I have given 1 star to, for 3 reasons. First of all, the detective, I mean, he's 18, he's working for, and he's not a detective, so anyway, he's 18, he's working for a newspaper, and yeah, he doesn't behave like an 18-year-old. I don't think, anyway. I mean, maybe I'm comparing that to modern standards. I don't know, but I don't think he behaves like an 18-year-old, and he's I just feel like I felt like he was kind of a brat, like kind of a snot, just so arrogant, so arrogant, excuse me, with his own cleverness. And if you guys love this book, like, please tell me why you love it in the comment section. I do want to know. It just wasn't for me. I'm not saying we should ban this or burn all the copies. I'm going to take my copy to a little free library where hopefully someone who enjoys it will find it. But so the main character, our detective, he's just yeah, a little smug. I just didn't really like that about him. It's not really the mystery of the Yellow Room. I mean, it kind of is. That's what sets things in motion. But there's all of these other things in such a tiny book, right? It's 175 pages, even though, I mean, the type is super small. But yeah, there's a lot of other things going on in the Yellow Room. They call it the pavilion, but there's also a whole chateau, right? A whole castle, essentially, where everyone's staying, right? Everyone who's trying to solve the mystery and of what happened in the Yellow Room. But it's not, the focus of the Yellow Room is just one tiny piece of it. I mean, there's people up on ladders in the middle of the night. There's strange noises in the forest. There's courtyards where people seem to be coming and going and you shouldn't be able to see them. There's people in disguise. It's all kind. I mean, I wish that he had just focused on the the mystery about the yellow room, like not all this other stuff. And that leads me to the third thing that I really, really hated about this book. It is absurdly complicated. There is no way that you as a reader would ever figure it out, because there's information that our detective has, and maybe other characters, but it's, yeah, I mean, you just don't have enough information to possibly know why things turn out the way they do. Like it's mind-boggling, and that's what was so frustrating to me. I just wanted to throw it. Like, I was so frustrated, you know, and I had thought about DNFing it. I really did, but I was just like, oh, you know, I don't have very many pages left. Like, I should just finish it. You know, it's been on my TBR for a long time. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. There's very little character development. I mean, and okay, so I'm not gonna give anything away, but so she's not killed, the person who gets trapped in the yellow room. She lives. She's like been strangled, and she got hit on the side of the head or whatever. So she's alive through the whole book. She could be such an interesting character. You know, she just basically says like, oh, I didn't see who it was. It was too dark. I couldn't tell who it was. Anyway. So, the other thing, and I noticed this with Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I read a collection of his short stories, and I can't remember when I finished it. I think last year. I think there was this kind of style of writing detective fiction. Maybe it was as detective fiction was emerging, where people like needed justification for telling a story. So this book, like, the main character has a friend, and we hear a lot of things from the friend's perspective, and then the detective, you know, has notes, and so one chapter is his notes from, you know, studying things or whatever, that kind of stuff. There's all these sort of things that it's not like people can just, let me just tell you a good story. Let me just tell you this story, like, and go. But like Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu and his short stories, again, the ones that I really felt like the author got in the way of himself was like, oh, you know, we were traveling and I asked to hear a story, and so this is, you know, here's the story that I was told or whatever. Or, oh, such and such detective, you know, here are his notes from the case involving blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. I don't really like that. I get it with Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes, and Watson is telling the stories, and it feels like it's a little more consistent. And again, I haven't read very much Arthur Conan Doyle, so tell me if I'm wrong about that. I don't feel like Edgar Allan Poe does that at all. But again, obviously I haven't read everything by Edgar Allan Poe. So, but yeah, this book gets in its own way. I wished he'd just written it just as a straight novel rather than having all of these, you know, here's the doctor's report, and oh, this is the transcript from the court trial, you know, all this kind of stuff, and you're going, just tell me, and honestly, by the time I was done with this, I was just going, just tell me what happened. Like, I just need to know what happened in the flippin' yellow room. And then when I found out, I was just, yeah, kind of just irritated. So anyway, wish me better luck with Uncle Silas. Booktube, I would love to know what you're reading, if you have anything special planned this weekend, if you're reading something for Victober. I would love to hear about that. So yeah, please share with me in the comment section. As always, if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, you can leave an emoji or give this video a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.